Hey everybody, this is Coach Charlie Cosens. At my facility here at Cosens MMA, we are constantly working towards, helping people set goals for themselves and working towards their particular goals. And something that I realized last week is it's very easy for those of us that are working towards something to compare ourselves to other people. And I think that's kind of a natural thing. But the reality of it is it works against us. If we're constantly comparing ourselves with other people, honestly, we're always going to feel down because there's always going to be someone else that's better, and there's always going to be someone else that's maybe losing a little bit more weight or progressing more quickly in business. For example, I go down and see my coach a couple times a week to practice, martial arts with him, and he always beats me up, and that's probably the way it's always going to be, right? And that's why I train with him. So if I constantly compared myself with him, I would probably feel pretty down, right? I'm going to give you a little example of a wrestling coach that I had. And how he kind of overcame this, or he didn't let this affect him. I knew him way back when in high school, and when he started off wrestling, he was not very good. I mean, he got pinned all the time, but by the end of his wrestling career, when he was a senior, he was a state champ. So I asked him, I said, how did you go from losing all the time to becoming the best in the state? And he told me something along these lines that was very interesting to me. He said, I would focus just on not getting pinned. So this match, it's all he would focus on is not getting pinned. If he got beat by points, he got beat by points. But after he worked on that and he worked on not getting pinned, then he worked on only getting beat by 8 points. And then his goal was only to get beat by 6 points. And then his goal was only to be beat by 4 points. And then eventually he started beating people by points. And then eventually he started pinning people. And this is over the course of a few years. So if he would have started off by comparing himself with everyone else in his team, or even the people he was competing against, he never would have got to that level. But because he looked at progression in such small chunks, like if I just progress this, I can get better next time, and he was comparing himself to himself, he was able to feel progression and in turn make himself better over the course of years. So again, he focused on making himself better and focused on his own success and not worried about anyone else. And I really think that's kind of the secret to life, and that's the secret to progressing towards a new goal or something, because there's always going to be someone that's a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, a little bit smarter. That's just the way that it is. Last week I had a guy come in. And when they come into my business, I do a consultation. I give a free private lesson, just to give them a taste of what we do in martial arts. And he's a really overweight guy. And, I do a little assessment with him, physical assessment. And I had him do push-ups, and he could only do 2 push-ups. And he was really down on himself. He's like, I'm sure that he's probably failed at other exercise routines before. And, he just didn't have a lot of confidence. So I told him, I said, I would much rather work with you than I would a guy from the Marines that came in last week that can do 60 push-ups. And he was confused by that. And I told him, I said, if I can make you do 5 push-ups, how much percent have we improved since the beginning? The Marine, he can do 60 push-ups in a minute. Maybe I can improve him, a couple. But for the big scale, we really didn't improve him that much because he's at his close to his maximum potential. So if we have someone that comes in and they're not as athletic and in shape, they have huge room for growth. So for those of you out there that this relates to, for maybe you're looking at getting into a new health routine, start off by looking at the small chunks. How much can I improve, this week and next week and next week? It's not all going to happen at once, right? The feeling of success doesn't give you that great feel if success happens in 1 week. All right, it's a progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. So that's how we define success. So I hope this gives someone some insight out there. And again, I just want to reiterate that you cannot compare yourself with other people. You have to only compare yourself with yourself and your own progression. So thank you for listening to me. Live strong. I'll see you next time. Thank you.